I think it's something kind of like you explained. It's not something that everyone really seeks out until it finds them on the algorithm. And basically, yeah, it's kind of an absurd brain rot. It's a contagious format.
Yes, I'm Angela Kilcott in for Sarah Crosby. Sarah, we'll be back tomorrow. Let's see here. Thanks for all the texts. I'll try to squeeze in a few more of those texts before I say goodbye to this part of the show. Of course, then from 9 to 10, it's the 9 a.m. free-for-all with Stacey Brotzel up in Edmonton. Okay, I'm hoping you've at least heard of, whether or not you've ever watched it, but heard of Love Island. How about Fruit Love Island? Welcome to Fruit Love Island, where each single fruits are about to flirt, fight, and trust. Things get messy fast. The final couples are Pina Pina and Bananito. Next, we have Watermelina and Orangelo, and then Sharita and Grapenzo, and lastly, Mandela and Kiwilo. Okay, so it's Love Island, but instead of scantily clad men and women, you've got bananas and peach-headed characters, and it's showing up in your social media, whether it be TikTok or Instagram. Of course, there's a lot to wrap around, especially my human head, not my watermelon head. And that's why we're turning to Fauna Johannes, a California-based trend curator, digital strategist. Tell us all about it, what it means to future content we are watching, either willingly or having it just show up uninvited. Good morning, Fauna.
Good morning, Angela. I am just as surprised as you are that we're having this conversation right now.
This is crazy. I mean, I had to turn to my daughter, and she's in her early 30s, and she said, Mom, I've heard of it, but I don't really know anything about it. So can you just lay it out for our listeners what Fruit Love Island is?
That's a great question. I think it's something kind of like you explained. It's not something that everyone really seeks out until it finds them on the algorithm. And basically, yeah, it's kind of an absurd brain rot. It's a contagious format. It's a 20-part series that a anonymous, faceless account called AI Cinema dropped a couple of weeks ago, and it's catching on because people just love just a casual escapism watch. I think that's really what it comes down to.
It's so funny. We moved away from movies. Oh, movies are so long. Oh, to series, but then series, oh my gosh, there's 12 series in this. To now, what are these? 60-second little blips?
60-second little blips. And people are investing big in micro dramas. So I think format wise, it just makes sense, like soap operas, reality TV, that's not really new. I think when you mix the AI element of it, I think some really just interesting folks are getting a hold of this technology where you have what works on social media. That's essentially a playbook, a formula. You have your hook, you have your trend, and then now all somebody has to do is just write a prompt in an AI tool, and then you have the birth of unlimited AI characters that you can cast in anything, really.
So I guess when I said to my listeners and played that clip, and I said they were peach-headed or banana-head, it is animation too. So, because someone might have thought, wait, so is this a real human that look like they've got a peach head or a watermelon head? So it's all animated, right?
Yes, it is all animated. It's what I like to call AI slop core, right? I think we've seen a lot of AI content come out where people decide to vibe code a human, right? And I think it creeps a little people out a little bit. But when something is obviously AI, people kind of look at it in a different way, right? Because it's not out here to trick you. You obviously know that it's AI content, and then you just kind of fall into this little world that's emerging with these characters.
Yeah, I think of all the animated artists out there that are saying, oh, great, there goes another job. Where are we headed then, Fauna? What do we have to be worried about when this starts to take on a life of its own?
Well, it's a couple of things, right, Angela? Like, number one is that this isn't what I'm calling an open source trend, right? This potentially might be the first social media trend that stemmed from a custom GPT. So, around the end of last year, an entity called AI Centuries created a custom GPT, which essentially created these talking food characters in a Pixar-style format. That's how the custom GPT describes it. And everything started as a tutorial, right? How to the different benefits of different foods, talking to you in an AI style format, right? That's how this all started. And so with open source trends, once anyone gets a hold of this kind of like IP, they can create whatever they want, right? So I think also this shows how our consumption habits are changing from account specific content to platform content, right? We're not really looking at the account that we're following, right? So a lot of
Yeah.
this content is anonymous. We in all the news coverage, we still don't know who's creating these videos. It could be somebody just like randomly at home creating them, but we really don't know. And what we're going to probably seeing with this AI content is a lot of anonymous, faceless accounts where we might never meet the creator. Um,
Mm.
yes,
Against the clock. I'm worried just with even that answer to my question. I really appreciate you at least giving us some insight into this AI Fruit Love Island. Thanks again.
of course. Thanks so much, Angela. Thanks for having me. Bye bye.
You bet. Fauna Johannes,